together. Conversation, get that feeling. Let them know what they're missing. Show it to your best friend. Tell them come hear this. Yeah. Don't you just your blessings, powerful lessons, true confessions. Yeah. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my gosh, the sirens just started going off. I hope everything's okay. Welcome to the PPC Radio Show. I am here with my girl, ShellyShell Williams. Yoo-hoo! And my new friend, Dantès Alexander. I'm so excited to have you, Dantès. There's a few things I want to announce before we really get into the show. First of all, excuse the loud siren. Can y'all hear it? Can you hear it?
I do hear it. I didn't hear it at first.
A little bit, but
okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna speak up. So the first thing I want to say is Evan Lee, Evan helped me with that jingle right there, PPC jingle, and please check out his new music. He's got new singles out and he's coming on a show next year. He's freaking awesome. So support him. Also, check out my little scarf, Angie B Originals, please, for Christmas. Buy your folks some prettiness at Angie-B-Originals.myspotify.com. I'll put that in the chat. What else? Bazz Facey hooked us up, ShellyShell, with our new promo. Now that we are this is the biggest announcement with urbanexpressions.com radio. Hey! We are moving on to the Urban Expressions. I feel like so big to be a part of that family now. That's ShellyShell's radio channel. So please, spread the word about Urban Expressions Radio. We are doing that thing. And then one more thing, I just want to say, please pray for our friend DJ Kid Disco. He's going through some stuff and really needs the prayer warriors out there. If that's what you do, please do it. If you just think positive thoughts, please do it. Think about DJ Kid Disco. He's going through some stuff and really needs all the support, encouragement, and love in the spiritual realm from us all. So please help him. Thank you for that. Now to the show. Dantès, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
ShellyShell has a segment that we like to start off with. So go for it, Shelly.
Are you ready? Let's go. It's true confession time. You have to give us a true confession.
Oh no. Oh Lord. You guys are trying to get me in trouble.
Suit. So whatever it is, we gotta follow suit. I don't know what you're gonna do. So give us your true confession.
A true confession. Oh boy. Ooh. Ooh. True confession. Or like a guilty pleasure. Does that count?
Could be a guilty pleasure, could be something people don't know, could be something that you eat that people don't know, could be something that you do people don't know.
A guilty pleasure of mine lately, I've been listening a lot to what's the name of I feel so bad. I don't even know the guy's name. Ed Sheeran. He's sort of been like a guilty pleasure. I've been listening a lot to his music. I think he's really cool. I dig him a lot. I'm a little embarrassed to admit that.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I just, that, a lot of people wouldn't expect me to, like that kind of music.
All right. Because we don't have any background on it. I mean, I know what you do, but why would people not? What kind of music do you listen to, or people think you listen to?
Well, he's like extra poppy,
He definitely is. I love it.
So that's a sharp contrast from me and and everything. That Dantès is. So yeah, but very guilty pleasure.
Very guilty pleasure. Ed Sheeran. I like him. I like what he's doing. So go ahead.
And one last one.
Ooh.
I like my rice cold.
What?
I like my rice cold.
So you wait till it gets, you take it out the pot or whatever, and so you just wait for it to just
wait
off.
for it to get cold. Yes. Isn't that weird? I know that's weird.
It's different. It's not weird. It's whatever you like it, how you like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at you.
I can feel it. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Okay,
I like
good.
almost everything cold. So I mean, I can eat almost. Yesterday I had for breakfast. I know this sounds super strange, but I'd made some taco ground turkey meat.
Mm-hmm.
I ate that with spoonfuls of guacamole and pico de gallo. That was
that's good cold. Yeah,
and
that's good.
Cold. It's
Yeah.
cold. And yeah, I like stuff hot too. I don't have I can go for both. But shoot, if I'm hungry, I'll eat that. No problem. As for a guilty pleasure, man, I like cartoons. I still like cartoons. I am a Christmas fanatic. So I watch everything. I literally, it's so funny because my partner is like, is there any Christmas movie you have not seen? And I was like, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is, but I've seen the most of them. It's like, you've seen that? Yep. You've seen that? Yep. And all the music. And I'm unfortunately not going to really be able to put my Christmas stuff up this year. I usually do it the day after Thanksgiving but everything's in storage. So I don't have access to that stuff. So it's all about me and the music and the Christmas stuff. And my daughter used to get grossed out. She was like, Mom, it's just too much Christmas. It's just too much. I was like, there's never enough.
Never enough.
You're the Donny Hathaway. It's never enough.
Never enough. So that's my guilty pleasure. Animated films, especially Christmas stuff.
Let's see. Monica would be mad. She eats everything super hot. So you in that cold, she would have a problem. She cannot. So, my guilty pleasure is, as far as watching, I watch Step Up High Water with Theo. It is my absolute. Favorite. Oh my God, I want to meet Rico. I just want to get all in it. I just want to dance with.
That was a good one.
I know. You wouldn't think it. Nobody would think it, but I love Step Up High Water. It's like, I be singing the song, and it's stupid. The dumb little intro song is not even much. It's like a beat. Dun, 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 dun. I can sing. I just sing it in my head, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go watch it. I gotta go see Rico. I gotta go. Sorry, it's just, oh God, I love that. I always wanted to be a dancer, so I don't know, something about that whole school and this stuff. I just wish I was back there in it. I just wish I was in it. The one on the stage, just want to be that person dancing. That's my guilty pleasure, and I love it. As far as eating, I want my food is food. It doesn't have to be super hot. It can be lukewarm, but just do. Guilty pleasure. And I have watched the Christmas movie. Watch Christmas movie every night.
All right.
I guess we all got these guilty pleasures over here.
Yeah, we just got set out here. Yeah.
We just like what we like. Ain't nothing wrong.
We do. But let me get a moment to be in that movie. I'm telling you, I want to be in High Water.
I need to see what you're talking about. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's such a kid movie. I'm sorry.
Oh, of course I know you're the singer guy. I actually like him. I don't see why that's a guilty pleasure, because I think a lot of people do. But it doesn't quite fit your persona, that's for sure.
Exactly.
That's what he's saying. Like, oh, nobody was saying, but listen, go on, rock out to Ed Sheeran.
Exactly.
Go ahead, rock out to him. I'm gonna rock out to my teeny bopper stuff, and you gonna rock out to.
And I'm gonna be singing
like, because like, okay, then, I'm sure there are people who are watching the show who will be like, okay, well, why are you not talking about, that period in your life where you had Spice Girls all over your wall? So I guess that would be one of them too.
Oh, that's a confession too. Spice Girls all over your wall. So basically, you like pop. musically you really do like it, and you probably gonna do a pop record. I believe you're gonna do one that you like.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
I got some cool stuff coming up, but I don't think they pop records. Yeah, I'll tell you how bad it
is. Yeah, you're the type of singer that could do everything, though. I mean, you really could. And why not? You know, why not do an album where every song is a different genre to show your range? That would be fun.
That's a dope concept.
Would be fun. I wanted to do a classical album, but I was advised by the elder statesmen in this business, or elder statesmen and women, everybody, folks that we all love and listen to, and they told me that would just completely confuse my audience. So I want to, but I might put it out under the alias. I have some other projects and stuff out under aliases. Because anything that don't fit for Dantès doesn't mean that it may not come out. It's just gonna come out under a different name, you know. So
I like that. That's great.
I
would love to see that. Like one classical song, one gospel song, one soul song, one hip hop song, one the style you're known for, do every style on with the 10 songs. Oh my God, under whoever you want to be, Alexander or whatever, and blow some minds. And then those that know you will be like, oh, I had no idea you could do all that. Yeah. Yeah. I've kind of, the reason why I'm saying is because that's something I always want to do, because I'm very eclectic when it comes to, what I like and what I can do. I can do it all.
Yes, you can.
So, and that's been part of my problem because I'm so able to do it all. It's like, which do you do? What represents the best of you? And it's like all of it, but I understand why you have to focus.
But I know what you're saying. I think everybody's saying what represents what's going to sell, and that's majorly everything what people want. What's going to sell? You want to do everything that's going to sell, and that's the whole part, right? You gotta sell. You gotta sell.
Gotta make some money, but also too, at the end of the day, I am a man who has a great appreciation and an affinity for, Black music in general. So, I just, happen to, sing over, electronica and house music, but that's because, people aren't really used to hearing, big records on, big voices on house records and stuff like that. You have people like, I can name tons of people, like Anaya Day. Shout out to Miss Anaya Day. I love her. Horny. You guys remember that song? So horny. I love her. Real sweet woman. Love her. Shout out to her. But people like hearing big voices on electronic records. And that's always been part of the commercialization of Black and queer music, you know what I mean? And then it becomes, a different type of music, you know what I mean? So.
So when you said Black and queer music, is there a separate lane for that? Is there something like a whole separate?
I think, the electronic dance music term is like a generic term for anything that is outside of the norm. House music, electronic music, whatever. These are all, traditional Black art forms, that started, in, the back of, sweaty and hotty, clubs like Warehouse, back in the day here in Chicago, Studio 54, all of these places. So rightfully so, this is our music. I make Black music. It's just that, you know, the style of music that I make has been thrown into this, you know, blender of stuff called electronic dance music, when in actuality, I make Black music. You know, and I told Cynda, I think we talked about that, how, you know, a lot of dance artists don't get a lot of respect from, you know, traditional R&B artists. You know, it's almost like there's a different, you know, like there's a different, you know, different realm or whatever, but we all make Black music. It's just absorbed in different ways. And now what's popular is electronic dance music. You know, if you look at what's going on here in America now, you know, if you rap or if you're a DJ, you got a hit. There's not a place for a vocalist now. You know, there's not even a key change anymore. I think the last person who did a key change maybe was Beyonce, and that was Love on Top. I think, when was that? You get what I'm saying? So, like, we are sort of at war trying to reclaim what is ours. You know what I mean? And I'm just a vessel doing what I can, you know, to continue, you know, the traditions of all, you know, the music that we do. You know, I make disco music, I make electronic music, I make R&B music. My last record, you know, had an R&B record on there, but it's just always about perception, right? You know, so electronic dance music, you know, can I say R&B? Yeah, sure. But for some reason, I've gotten stuck in that electronic dance music spectrum. And I'm cool. I'm okay with that, you know, because I know it's hard to classify things. You know, sometimes people, you know, fear what they don't understand. And if they understand it, you know, they put it in a box over here. Am I blabbing?
No, you good.
No,
You good.
you
I had a question. I know it goes back to what the podcast is. So with the electronic dance music, do you use any of the flipping stuff that you used to do in high school when you used to be a cheerleader? Do you use any of that in on your stage performance? Do you flip? Do you do anything like that?
No, not so much now. Now I'm mostly known for sliding and moonwalking across the stage, but not so much stunts or anything like that. Could I still do all of that stuff? Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want. It's like driving. Once you learn how to drive, right, you don't forget how to drive. You know,
I forgot how to drive then, because I was a gymnast, but you won't be catching me on no balance beams or doing no flips anymore.
I mean, but all of that stuff
younger
is
than me, so
it's, you know, it's all a part of, you know, the training that makes you, you know, who you are. You know, that's why I can move so well. You know, even in high school, you know, like, and I remember, you know, because I well, not high school. Actually, let me take it back to middle school, because I went to A. Vito Martinez, and I went to Prairie actually too, on the south side.
I worked at Martinez.
Oh, okay.
So many of the same places for different
I don't want
reasons.
to say what year I was there.
Yeah, right. I wasn't there. I don't think.
So, but back then, you know, I was, you know, one of the few who were out there, and y'all know what I mean by the few. Mm-hmm. And so we were like the odd man out, you know. And whenever there was a dance party, oh, y'all, we would have the circles around us. You know, they'd be like, "Oh man, look!" You know, they all just stand on the side, and that was essentially like my, you know, my middle school years. You know, I spent a lot of time, you know, dancing. Man, great times. I would love to go back. I'm so tall. I went to AVM. I think, what was that, like a couple of years ago? I'm like, boy, I'm really tall. This school, the ceilings are just so short. You know.
How tall are you? I mean, you seem tall from sitting there. So how tall are you?
About 6 even.
Okay, got it. So that flip. You know, normally the short people could do this, so that flip is a big flip. Hey!
That was probably my problem too. I was too tall. I was very tall for it. I kept my feet kept hitting the bars, and my boobs.
Yeah. Most the gymnasts have small boobs that are small in the chest. But I'm telling you, if you was in that middle, I'd have been right there. Look like yes, I would love that. I just want to see, like, I just want to see now. Like, oh, come on, let's dance, let's do it. Let me see.
We had a lot of fun, but who knows? You know, we never know. You never know what might happen. I have video shoot scheduled for the next month and a half, which we'll be shooting in Ohio. So yeah.
I love what Chris Brown does. Like when he first came out, he in concert, he would take from end of the stage to the other. He would flip the whole from one stage, from one side of the stage to the next. I was like, yes, it's amazing. I love it.
It's a thrill. It's a thrill.
I like
for
Chris.
People. It's a thrill for people to see. But the music, the electronic music, I think part of it also, it's so much bigger than the United States. So people that live in the States think that, really we're really alienated from the rest of the world.
Yes.
But music transcends borders, and electronic music is huge. It's huge in so many European countries and countries that are, you don't see us, but they accept you and love you if you sing on that type of music. They love that type of music. So I think that's the other thing that makes people say, oh, that's white music. No, it's not. It started off, like you said, at the park in Chicago. That's where it began, and it just went like that into the world, and they grabbed onto it and they loved it. And so now all of a sudden you country music.
Another hidden truth, right? That was originally a Black art form, just like blues, So time always is cylindrical, where
It makes me mad. I just think we just need to freaking say music is music. It's different genres, but there is no Black music. There's no white music. There's just freaking music, and that's why I love that you call yourself a genreless artist. You don't have a genre. You can do it all.
And I pride myself on that, and I do. I pride myself on that. So, but but at the end of the day, I suppose, I should be grateful, because like you said, music, it reaches, millions, and, and it's such a thrill, and it really is. It's touching, like when you have complete strangers just like out of nowhere, send you messages, and like if you guys could see the messages, that I get from people all around the world, and I know they're there, it's just that you don't see them until you go out on the road or something like that. But when people from like Slovakia, all parts of Europe know who you are, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and I'm grateful for that. I'll take something rather than any, than nothing. And
that's more than something. That's a lot.
So how did your music, like in the music business, a lot of people are like scratching this about trying to get ahead. What was it that got you ahead in the music business? Was it the acting? Did the acting push the music? Did the music push the act?
You know what? It's a combination of things also, too. It's more than how talented you are. It's about your network. I mean, I'm just gonna be completely honest. Like, this business is like any other business. If you're not a go-getter, it's not gonna work for you. It's just that simple. I don't know how else to explain that. Like, ain't nobody else gonna make your record talk unless you make your record talk. DistroKid is not gonna get anybody interested. I'm sorry to all of the musicians out there, and no disrespect to anybody who's DistroKid, but if you want to be taken seriously, as a professional musician, you have to start establishing professional relationships, and that is the most important thing, period. And then, because it is the music business, right? Okay, I can't stress that enough. And that's the beautiful thing and the hard thing about the music business today, is that you have to be both an artist and a business. And people forget that it is a business first, and then the music comes second.
Yeah, unless you want to be like so many singers and singing in the shower, or if you're lucky at the.
That was funny though. I thought you were about to say something all profound and prolific. Unless you want to bring like so many singers singing in the.
I'm serious, because that's the issue with artists, quote unquote artists, super talented people. Dantès, you are an exception to this, and there are a lot of exceptions to this, but the most mediocre talent is who makes it, because they often are the ones that have to work. They know their talent is good, but not good enough to carry themselves with just their voices or just their acting or just their art. So they have to work super hard, and they become these massive, huge stars. And you got your super, super talented people sitting by the phone, hoping and praying that something else is going to push them over because their voice is so good, or their this is so good. No, it doesn't matter how great your talent if nobody knows about it.
Because if I had a list, guys, of, like you just said, Miss Cynda, if I had a list of everybody that has helped me get to where I am now, we would be talking about it the whole interview, because it's about relationships. You know, when you start out in business, you start out like everybody else. You climb, just like you said, you know, until you find somebody or something that says, you know, hey, this kid knows what he's doing, or hey, this girl knows what she's doing, you know, let me point them in the right direction. And that's all it takes. It's just that push, right? And then you continue to, you know, as you continue to accomplish things, it's like your sphere and your circle of influence becomes larger. And then you can branch out and touch different things and different people, because now you have a little standing. I've been blessed. I have some amazing people that I have met in my life, who, you know, may have wanted money, or who may or not have wanted money. But they have all helped me in their own way. You know, after I had, you know, gotten, you know, off of Showtime, I had, you know,
tell them about that. Tell them about Showtime, because this is radio. This is a whole new platform. So you might want to tell them that you on Showtime, and you might want to tell them.
So my breakout moment was I was on Showtime's Work in Progress. I worked on that show for about 14 days. Work in Progress is a show about a lesbian who falls in love with a trans man. Remember, Miss Cynda, I said it was like Relax, It's Just Sex. And I worked on that show for, you know, 14 days. I started just like everybody else in the background for many, many years as an extra, just trying to be a worker actor to pay the rent. And then by the grace of God, you know, like we joked about, you know, why all that time watching, you know, my mom paint her face, you know, because, you know, this was a gay show. You know, my makeup looked good, you know, I looked the character, and they pulled me to the front, and, you know, they're like, "Black boy, do what you do." I, you know, had my lines. I, you know, became sad. And that's how I ended up, you know, getting a Chicago Music Award nomination, which I got in, I believe that was 2021, for, well, this song. This is actually old. We need new plaques now, so this is actually over 2 million now. We've sold 2 million. So I'm very, 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 very blessed and very grateful for all of these little opportunities. And that may have just been the big one, but there were so many small jobs. Like, y'all know.
You were on Empire? Did you say you were on Empire?
I was on Empire. Yep. As I said, there's so many little small jobs. You know, everything adds up. But for me, my moment where people were like, "Oh my God, that," you know, my nephew said, "Oh my God, that's my uncle. Oh my God," you know. Work in Progress on Showtime. They're not paying me to say this, but please go check that out, so you can see all of this melanin.
I think it's important what you're talking about. Actually, it's kind of what I'm going to do my TikTok on today. This whole thing of, you know, helping each other. You know, I mean,
we're a community.
Yeah, we ought to be.
We
are
are.
a community. And we are a community. We are working at it. But I'm telling you, after almost 35 years of being in this business, my community was not why I made it in. It was other people on the outside that saw something in me that didn't. If my community had, I can't imagine where I'd be right now. So that's my whole thing. It's like, really, I was talking to my kid about this. I'm like, you have to make connections with people, because those very people are the ones that are going to open the door for you, or you might open the door for them. These connections are so important, and being the type of person that is willing to receive criticism, that's willing to receive guidance and encouragement. And, you know, if somebody's saying to you, you know what, you need to work on this, you might want to listen. You know, if I don't care how good you are or where good, where I am in my career, like Dantès, you could be my son. You could. And so, but when you tell me, you know what, Miss Cynda, I think you need to try this. I think you need to do that. I think let's try this. You're feeding me, you know, someone that's old enough to be your mother, but you are never, unless you out of this world, I think you can always receive guidance and help from anybody, even if that guidance is to know what not to do. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's a jerk or a nasty person, I was like, oh, okay. Well, thank you for that lesson. I learned from that. You know, I learned that that's not a direction I want to go in my life. But this community thing, it's, you know, we got to help each other. We do. And that's what I appreciate about Shelly. Shelly is always helping some freaking body. And that's a blessing that we all.
And that's what we all have to remember, you know, as professionals, entertainers, and influencers, whatever it is that you want to call it. And I know firsthand, you know, just like, you know, Miss Cynda said, you know, there are some people who, you know, will just look down at you like, oh, well, keep, you know, keep plowing. But, you know, for me, you know, it's important to always remember where I come from. The people who have come before me. I don't care if, you know, they don't like me and I don't like them. But at the end of the day, it is about respect and always trying to lift the next person up, because we are all beautiful. We are all great and special in our own way. God has given us all an immense array of talents, you know, and I think it's important for us to help anybody and everybody, especially, African Americans and, you know, biracial people. You know, we have to make sure that we unify and lift each other up. There's enough spotlight for everybody. That's always been my belief.
It is. We don't. Hey, listen. We could all be in the spotlight. This more. Come on. There's room for more than one person that's got to be the head of the class, so to speak. So just to share it. Like, let's go. Listen. If you shine, I shine. We shine together. Let's just shine.
Let's just shine. Let's burn their eyes out, y'all. Like, that's all I want to do.
Yes.
Like, let's just do that. Like, together, we can burn their retinas together. And if everybody had that feeling, man, I'm telling you, like, you know,
you never be alone. You know?
And that's why, you know, this season, like with my show, like I said, you know, and I may get some pushback, you know, for, you know, my vision, you know, for this season. But this season, like I said, I wanted to focus, you know, on African Americans and people of color, because there's so much stuff out there. You know, you hear, you know, big rap stars getting shot, right? When's the last time you heard a R&B singer getting shot? Or a dance singer getting shot, or, you know, or anything, you know, like that. So there's all this bad representation about all of us in, you know, in the entertainment field. So I said this season, no, I want to focus on African Americans and people of color who have achieved a level of success, but may not be as known as some of their peers. And that's why I chose to go this direction. So I know this.
What's the show? Tell them, act like we don't know about it. So what's the
Access Lakeshore Drive show. So you guys can go check that out, the accesslakeshoredriveshow.com. I'm in my second season. I always speak in, I don't know why. I guess that's just the singer in me. I speak in thirds. But anywho, we're in our second season. This is our first season on the radio. We've had Miss Cynda, which you guys know her from, I mean, I don't even need to go there. Y'all know Miss Cynda. We've had LaBouche. Shout out to LaBouche. Wonderful man, mentor. I love that guy so much, I swear to God. Dr. Gerard McClendon, Emmy winner Dr. Gerard McClendon, here from Chicago. Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. I've had some amazing people come through. And that's what, my show is about. Last season, it was like ice cream. There was a lot of different flavors in it, because you're just getting started. And you're like, I want just give me something, but this season is more refined and it's more focused on, like I said, people who are famous, but who may not be as well known as their peers. So you guys can go check that out. That is the accesslakeshoredriveshow.com. My last guest was the fabulous Miss Cynda Williams, aka Sea Breeze. I love her so much. This week, Friday, we have another mutual acquaintance coming on the show, Mr. Hawthorne James, another incredible guy. I'm excited. This is another Chicago Connection episode. I don't know what, there's nothing for me to say about Mr.
No, he is a great interview. I know that much.
He is wonderful.
Listening to him talk, his stories are stellar, epic. They're just epic.
And I love his integrity. Can I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a Black man, and also too, what I also loved about this interview too, there's a point in the interview where I say, okay, well, I am gay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, okay, well, I got plenty of friends. This is entertainment. What you mean? But he is very much aware, and he is in tune with everything that's going on today. But he has integrity, and that's what I love and I respect about that man. He has taken roles that have always uplifted the African American male. He's never wore a dress. I had to wear a dress to get on. But he's never wore a dress. I mean, this man's been rocking it since long before I came along. I believe since 1979. And if you look back in his career, he's never done anything that has jeopardized, his integrity and what his view of masculinity is. So I want to encourage everybody to turn in, Lord help me, tune into that show. It's going to be a great show. Yes.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of working with him a few times, and you see people do certain roles, and so they become known for those roles, but he's way deeper than the character he's played. And
he is.
He knows so much about the entertainment world because he's worked in it. He's brilliant. I'm sure his IQ is off the chain, and he's worked with. And matter of fact, I need to call him and get him on this thing. Yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge, and so many people are. So many. I mean, like Dantès, I didn't know you. You know what I'm saying? And now we're not only have we met, but we seem to be fast friends. So and we're gonna work together. So there's a massive amount of folks out there. Right quick, because I want to say hi to everybody who's listening in. James, hey, cold pizza eater. Yeah, me too. And Earl, hi. And I will let DJ Cadisco know you're praying for him and thinking about him. Hi, Michelle Young. She says she loves you, Shelly, and she misses you. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. So Dantès, I really want to know how you celebrate Christmas, because everybody does it a different way, and we are in that season. I got 2 more shows with some family coming on, but I want to know how you celebrate it, because everybody's different. That's kind of like where we're moving into right
Well, Christmas is really like, actually, I don't do any of the house decorating or anything like that for the holidays. My partner does all that stuff, but he does a great job with all of that stuff. Right now, like if I could move my computer, like right now he's actually working on a light Christmas tree for the wall, like a Christmas tree made out of the lights on the wall. So that's going to be very, very cool. But I like to celebrate with, good friends and family, a cup of hot cocoa, some sneakers, some fresh sneakers, and I do mean fresh sneakers, some fresh sneakers, and we good.
Well, we know what you want for Christmas, some fresh sneakers.
Anybody out there who wants to, send Dantès a fresh pair. Look, I'll even take some all white Air Force Ones. You guys can send them to me at Dantès Alexander. Okay.
That leads me to another question I want to ask you about, because I have people all the time offering to send me stuff. Always men. They want to send me money. They want to send me gifts. They want to all of this kind of stuff. And I've always said no, because there's a fine line. You know what I'm saying? It's a fine, I don't know how to deal with that. I don't know how to do. So what do you think?
Well, I don't know. We all certainly have our growing pains now, don't we? Miss Cynda, well, the only thing I can tell you is that you are a beautiful woman. You are a talented woman, and you starred in some of the most iconic films of the 90s. So it is to be expected that you are going to get a lot of fan mail. That comes with, with the job. If anything, that should give you confidence and to, continuing to be the beautiful soul that you are. These people want to, see you in good spirits. They want to hear you in good spirits, and they want to make sure that you're always in good spirits. And, I think you should be receptive to that,
So basically he's saying, take the gift, take it. You know what I'm saying? He said it in such a great, proper way. Take the gift. Listen, they asking for it. They say,
like she said,
you take it. Take it.
I've always been funny about that, because I always believe in balance.
I get free stuff all the time. What are you talking about?
And me some fresh. What'd you say? Fresh.
No,
they always in my inbox like, oh, Dantès, I have this jewelry that I want you to try out and wear on the show. Oh, where is it? Wear on the show. See, this is a free item. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've always been confused, especially because it's always guys. Women, shoot, I barely hear from them, let alone offering no gifts.
I mean, just be, at the end of the day, though, doesn't mean you have to develop relationships with them. If it's a card and somebody sends you a gift, then you accept it. Think about think about the Queen before she passed away. And I imagine she had a room full of gifts that she didn't even open. She just took them to be nice, and I think that also is important too. You want to take them to be nice, because if someone comes out of nowhere to make you feel good about your day, take it.
Yeah, I've been very confused about that, because I always think it's about something more. It's about something else. It's about
it's about them wanting to send you a gift because you are awesome and you are amazing. I mean,
they can't get nothing else, you know.
What else can they get other than if they lucky, they might get a response back. I mean, nobody said that you even had to respond. I mean, but it's important, I think, for you to, and not just for you, but I think everybody who has some degree of fame. I didn't say wealth, I said fame, because I certainly ain't wealthy. I think it's important for us to be accessible, because if it's not for these beautiful people out here, we wouldn't be able to do any of the creative things that we do. No one would know who we are. So I always try and talk to the fans and talk to them.
That I do. I communicate. It's just when they try to send me stuff, I was like, no, thank you so much.
Unless it's food, take it.
Okay.
Take it.
All right.
Take it, because they offered a trip to Dubai. Some of these people spend a lot of time writing a letter or coming up with money to get a gift card to send you or whatever. But it's the thought that counts, And then you just acknowledge them on social media. You give them a shout out, and say, "Oh, hey, Tom, I got your package. Thank you so much. Everybody, Tom and so and so and so and so sent me this. Hey, Tom," and that's how you do that.
Muchas gracias, Tom. Yeah.
Right. Muchos gracias. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I've had like mixed answers to that question. So I was like, Shelly, I got your answer. You kind of agreed with him, huh?
Take it. Send me some fresh white sneakers. I'm with you on that. Listen.
That's what when DJ Kid Disco posted his Cash App, I was like, oh, that's all kind of people doing that stuff.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. Here's my Cash App.
It's my Cash App. Right.
There you go. Listen.
That's common, I thought, right? It's my birthday. Here's my Cash App.
Bless me if you like. Bless me if you like.
Okay. I'll take it. A blessing is a blessing.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna block your blessings. They say when you don't take something, you're blocking somebody's blessing. So if they had it in their heart to give, the devil ain't telling you to give nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if they got it in their heart to give you something, I'm not gonna block your blessing. Yo, come on there. Fresh white. I'll wear size 8.
Yeah,
someone stole my sneakers a couple years ago. So if you want to give me some fresh white sneakers, size 8, I'm okay with that.
Drop that handle, ShellyShell.
Oh, you want that Cash App too? It's Philly's Oprah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What is your favorite, if you could pinpoint a favorite gift you've ever gotten? What would it be?
A favorite gift that I've ever gotten. I remember on my 25th birthday, I got thrown a surprise party. And that was the first surprise party that I ever got. There was not like a physical gift, but that was pretty dope to me, because I was like, man, my mama pretty bad, for getting all these people together behind my back, that's so that like any gift like that with like surprise gifts, like people, seeing people, hugs, love, all that stuff. Yeah, those are the gifts for me.
Yeah. What about you, Shelly?
I was sitting here trying to think. I love all gifts. The gifts are nice. I can't think of one in particular. I think they're all, anytime anybody gives you a gift is a wonderful thing. So I like money. So I like for people to give me, I'm not even kidding. I would prefer me to buy my own thing. So give me money as opposed to a gift, because a lot of the stuff, it's so cute, but it may not be something I need or want. But I appreciate every gift that everyone has ever given me. But give me money.
James said accepting gifts can be okay. Right, James? As long as the person sending it to you doesn't hold it over your head and think by them doing that it's something more between you. And see, that's where I've always been. That's what like I said, it's obviously not certain people, and you know who I'm talking about, but other people I feel like it's an invitation because they want more. They want something from me. And, you know.
It depends on what the prior conversations were. And, you know, I've known somebody that says they want, you know, they're trying to get you prior to, like, oh, you so cute, oh, you so pretty, oh, she this, I want to take you out, da, da, da. If those prior conversations said that, that's a different story. It depends on the prior conversation. But if you just, a person said, oh, Shelly, I want to send you this, or, oh, Cynda, I want to send you this, that's different. But those prior conversations, oh, yeah, can I get with you? Can I take you out? I'm like, that is, then you know where that's coming from. Can I take you out? Can I meet you? Can you meet me here? And, you know, can I? That's a different story. That's two different levels of where we at.
Well, that's unfortunately most of the people that try to send me stuff, or people that are like, let me spoil you.
You just gotta get a P.O. box, okay? Let me just tell you. Get a P.O. box, Miss Cynda. The Cynda Williams Fan Club, P.O. Box 453. Blah, 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 453. There you go. Drop that today, Miss Cynda.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because they don't have my address either.
They should not. Why would they? That would be good. Don't give out your address. No.
So
I already had my scare. I had to call the radio station to tell them to take my government name off the show. I said, why would y'all put my government name up there? Y'all know y'all wrong for that. I'm like, this is Chicago. I'm like, I'm not, y'all trying to have me get stalked and all types of craziness.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to mention. I was going to bring something up. I have to tell you after the show.
Yeah, tell me later.
Oh, good. No.
You just reminded me when you said stalker.
Stalker. No to the stalkers.
Oh, no.
Oh, Jesus. That's why nobody knows where I am. You know, only a very,
so Cynda, you done talk about, so let's go to the good gift. What is your favorite gift?
My favorite gift? I'd say I have it on. This is a beautiful necklace that my daughter gave me. It was the very first birthday gift that my daughter gave me from her job, from her first real, you know, job. It's not obviously what she wants to do, but it was just, I don't know, it just was like a shift in our relationship, because obviously I've always, you know, taken care of her. And I felt like this was her way, you know, of taking care of me. And it was, I have a lot of gifts. My father gave me a couple of rings one year. He was always he was such a thoughtful gift giver. And he'd given me these, he and my stepmom, Susan, gave me these 2 rings, and and I wear them all the time. I'm not a big ring person, but the fact that they did it was just so sweet. And, you know, but you know what? Another one time I met this person, and I was talking about toiletries. I needed to get toiletries, and I was having a rough time financially at the time. This person bought me or gave me, I don't know how they got it, like months worth of toiletries. Months. They found out just by conversation what I liked, the different brands I liked and stuff. And they bought me hair shampoo and conditioner that was, it was like a box full. Deodorant, facial cleanser, toilet paper.
Really? Wow.
People are thinking gems and all that kind of stuff. That gift was one of the most thoughtful gifts, and it lasted me almost a year.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That was the most beautiful, sweet gift, because that stuff you always need, and it's so expensive, especially for women. That stuff is so expensive, and that was an amazingly thoughtful.
I'm surprised that they haven't, like, why is there no like legislation? Like some like, and y'all know what I'm talking about. That needs to be free. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't like what is wrong with people. Like certain things need to, like, I'm gonna say the stuff that the other stuff too, that everybody like, that should be free too. I mean, is it? I mean,
yeah, you think that's ever gonna be free? No, and they want.
I mean, I don't know why. Like, why is like women's like I don't understand like why that's not, like should not be like. I mean, clearly it's not right because they just did the shit. They just did the stuff that they did. But that's a problem because like there are like I know here like in Chicago like you know there are right now there are drives going y'all for women's hygiene items because
Really?
because that stuff is expensive like
Ridiculous.
that stuff and it should be free like why I don't understand I don't know
it's crazy when you have to choose between those
understand.
things and food or those things and whatever else. It's like, okay, you go to the dollar store and you get what you can and you use what you can, and that stuff breaking you out if you got sensitive skin, if it's not good stuff. And there are so many things we don't think about that we have blessed to have that other people are struggling to get. So I on this last couple minutes we got here, I suggest if you're someone that has it in your heart to share with someone, think about those things that people need as opposed to what they might say they want or you might guess that they want. People these days have major needs that are not being met. It's a rough time in everywhere globally. It's a rough time, and so if that's something that you do, and I heard this message yesterday about gift giving, how gift giving is beautiful during Christmas, but all year long people were in need, and instead of it being about giving people something that costs lots of money in one time, if you drop them a note or drop them a let me buy you a bag of groceries or those things, you don't even know how you affect your neighbors' lives by those acts of kindness all year long. And I think that's something that if we all took care of each other like that. I heard this quickly. I heard this thought about the 5 loaves and the 2 fish with Jesus. Some people say that what happened was the people were hoarding their food. They were hiding their food. And so when Jesus said, let's eat, people started bringing out all this food that they were hoarding and they started sharing it. And so it multiplied from this gift of grace that Jesus said, let's eat. And I thought that was the most beautiful interpretation of that story, that Jesus's love and generosity and his words opened people up to share. And I think that's what we need in this world right now. And sometimes you go through the dark times to bring out the light in every soul.
Amen.
So we are at the end of the show. Dantès, thank you so much for sitting with us and hanging out, and everybody, please support his music, support everything that he's doing. Tell everyone how to reach out. You can go on my post, but you can also check him out where?
You guys can just at Dantès Alexander on Instagram. I think that's actually probably the best place. Facebook, I don't really fool too much with, but it's there for the folks that's still on Facebook. All the normal places, Spotify, of course, Apple Music, whatever. Dantès. You can search Dantès New Jack City, or you can search the Prince Regent of EDM. Whatever you choose to do, just search.
All right. And look out, because we're gonna be doing some music together, Dantès and I, and some other things. So I'm very excited.
I'm waiting for the flip. I'm waiting for the flip. I can't wait to see it in the You can catch me on Instagram at ShellyShell Williams. I don't know what I have coming up. Of course, 30 interviews in 30 days is still going on, giving the gift of knowledge for Christmas. I know we just talked about giving things, but I want you to give the gift of knowledge. Everybody has knowledge. Buy somebody's book, buy somebody's course product and everything.
Yeah.
But find me on Instagram at ShellyShell Williams.
All right. And this week I'm very excited to have my niece, Corinne. She's coming on a podcast. She's got a single out there called Vertigo. It's a beautiful song, and I am very excited to have her on. And it was really interesting hearing her story from her point of view. You think you know your family, but you don't always know them. So I'm very excited to have her on this Friday on Spotify, Anchor, and wherever podcasts are found. And also she'll be on the show next week. And then next week will be the my final podcast for the season. It'll be the end of this third season. Thank you,
Really?
guys. Yeah, it'll be the end of the season. One more next week. Two more PPC radio shows this season. Thank you, everyone that's out there that's listening in, always participating, and for supporting this effort of communicating with wonderful people. So that's all she wrote. We love you and appreciate you. Thank you,
Thank you for
everyone.
having me.
Thank you, Dantès, for sharing your light. Really appreciate you. God bless. That's a wrap.
PPC, PPC, yeah.